I get knocked down, but I get up again, and you're never gonna keep me down. I was saying I get knocked down. Hey, what's up, everybody? You're watching the ADHD Game Dev channel. I'm Brandon, and let's address the elephant in the room because my TV's not going. You probably hear I have a space heater in the background. You might hear that, and I'm in a parka. It's freezing. My office is a converted garage. I'm freezing to death over here. That's just one more thing. This last week has been an effort to knock me down, and I want to talk to you about what keeps you going. How do you keep managing to put one foot in front of the other, and what do you do? I've had a lot of, it's been silly stuff and not so silly stuff this last week, and yet I kept on making video games, and I continued to be me with this nest of bees in my head that basically run the show for me. So started out, golly, so my dear daughter had told me she's found an apartment and she's gonna be moving out in a week. If you're younger than me, and I assume a lot of you are, you might not get that. Good thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. I keep telling myself, but obviously it's like just it's okay. So that's just an emotional hit. Okay, we're fine. Oh, we're not done though. In the midst of just life, my favorite coffee cup got struck by something and knocked a chip out of it. It took me a couple months looking for my ideal perfect coffee cup, and I finally got this one, and so I use it every blooming day, and now it's bang, got a chip in it. No, thank you. I'm already upset. Let's not do one more thing. I said, oh, heck no. I'm not going to take that. I immediately got super glued it back together, and was instantly glued to the cup. Now, you might think, haha, that's funny. This was not especially funny because I just put a dab and pressed it into place, and I was like, seriously, if I move wrong, it's going to rip my skin, and I'm going to be bleeding level of this is not good. So I spent the next over half an hour with my hands soaking in hot water and trying olive oil and stuff, and finally got loosened from it to the point that I was thinking I'm going to have to smash my favorite cup. It's not going to get repaired. I'm going to smash it to free myself from it. That was not funny. I know the situation is like, it seems funny, but yeah, it got a little bit dicey. I was slightly concerned that one false move and I was about to be bandaged and possibly going to urgent care. So yeah, life wasn't done with me yet though. No, because it's been snowing and icing and freezing here. Out checking the mail, and I was looking at the house to see, like, man, I think there's a bunch of frost up on the, bam! Hit the ground, stepped wrong on the edge of the asphalt, and I was on the ground instantly. My knee is bleeding, banged up my shoulder. I was staggered. I was wondering if I needed to call for help. I had my phone. I dragged myself off the ground and stumbled into the house, and my dear wife was able to help me get my knee bandaged, but my ribs were bruised really nicely so that I can't laugh or cough all week long. I've had worse. I've had worse. Life has been worse than that to me. I've had worse things. There are a lot of minor things, but they all stack up, don't they? They all stack up, one on top of the other. And maybe you've had a worse week than that. This is like just normal, everyday things that happen and slight inconveniences in an otherwise comfortable life. If I didn't have a comfortable life, I wouldn't be worried about a busted coffee cup, would I? Because I wouldn't have coffee to put in a cup, right? So there's a level of what hits you and what knocks you down and what's difficult in your life, and it's different for every person. And I think that I want to pay respect to your level of endurance and what hurts you in your life and what makes things difficult in your life, and how do you keep going, especially if you're trying to make video games in the middle of it, right? Here I am. Welcome to the ADHD Game Dev channel. That's how we roll. I'm going to keep on trucking. I'm going to get myself a coffee. Hey, if you guys want to sponsor me, Kokomo, thank you. It's the little things that are going to keep you moving, right? Little things, little comforts, little joys. I'm injured. I don't want to walk. My knee hurts too bad, and so I'm stuck on a couch. What do you do all weekend? It's freezing outside. You don't want to go out anyway, and you couldn't even if you wanted to. So we're going to make video games. And it's static in the brain so bad. So what do we do? We take baby steps. Itty bitty things. It would be perfectly acceptable and perfectly okay to just throw in the towel for the moment and say, that's all right. There's a time to rest, and I think that's important to do so. But at this moment, I was like, oh, heck no, I'm not taking this lying down. I'm going to get something done. And in my evenings and my weekends, snowed in times, I started working on my game, and I made a lot of great progress. And sometimes it was like crawling. And when you're in a state of crawling, it's a matter of recognizing the big picture about video games, which is that a game is a system of systems, okay? The better optimized, the better organized, the better you build each system to talk to the other systems, the more fluid your game development journey becomes. Personally, I took up a real love of Godot more than I had already this week, and I'm getting to be quite the fanboy because I can build a scene that is a whole self-contained system, like little Lego building blocks of nodes. I can build another scene, and I can even lock the scenes together, so we've literally got a graphical orientation of two systems interacting together. So I wanted to add rain to my game. I want weather in my game, thank you. So I added a whole, I'm always fiddling, aren't I? When I get excited, I get happy, I start fiddling. So I added a whole rain system to the game, and I was able to just, boop, drop that under the player. So now it's following along with the player, two systems talking to each other. Very nice, very happy. I'm liking this. And sometimes you get to the point where you have to recognize that individual elements inside of that are even smaller components down inside of that. So in my case, knocked down, beat down, can't think as I had been building the weather system on the player, and so a tiny little move for me to make was just to say, all right, let's rip this out and build it as its own element. That's a small move. Another small move, I'd watched All Hail Bracky's his tutorial on particle systems, really good timing, and I said, I can redo my rain particle effects. That is a tiny little move that I could do. I've got another quest, kind of an end game quest that needs to be done, and the quests aren't complicated in this game. It's like go here, go there, talk to them, interact with that kind of thing. And it's really easy for your ADHD brain to get overwhelmed because you can see the whole thing all at once. And for me, I'm like, there's all these steps in the process, and it looks complicated and overwhelming. But because a video game is a system of systems, you can break it down into its component parts and get down to those individual cogs that make up that machine, right? So what is an individual cog in this quest line? And for me, in my case, it would be, how about we create a graphical element that needs to be added that doesn't exist yet? I need to jump into Blender and create the object. Well, okay, this is a whole more subsystems involved in that. And I said, okay, break it down even further. I'm not going to worry about texturing it. Just build the model. And that was the win. That's all I had to do was just build the model. Don't worry about the texturing. Don't worry about the animating. Don't worry about the way that it interacts with the rest of it. Don't worry about all that. And it was day after day after day of just tiny little steps, sometimes several at once, sometimes just one to get me going and kind of prime the pump, and I was okay. I was in the groove and I could keep going. Some days it's a matter of just do a couple of tiny little steps, and that's all we need, okay? But whatever you're facing, when you're getting knocked down and you get up again and they're never going to keep you down, how do you keep going with all this resistance when you, in your higher brain function, actually want to make progress on a game? And I believe it is so important to be able to break it down into those individual itty-bitty micro pieces of progress, and not to be too judgy about yourself to say, oh, I didn't make much progress. The other thing that is important in that is to be able to drink coffee, is to be able to keep a track of what you did, okay? Keep a track. They're not sponsoring me. I just like their drinks. Keep a track of what you did so that you can look back and say, I didn't just do the one thing. I actually did 5 or 6 things, because it's really quick for you to go onto the next thing and forget that you actually did several other things. It might have been housekeeping, okay, it might have been little things, but it's important. Like in my case, here I am changing out some of the foliage because it didn't flow correctly, or I messed with a whole lot of terrain editing to get it to have an obvious path for the player. That was important. I don't write it down. Write it down. Write down what you did, so that at the end of your work session, when you go, man, I didn't do anything, I just made that one model. That's not true. I didn't just make one model. I did a bunch of stuff. So giving yourself the opportunity to accept that you do just one thing at a time is really good. Keeping track of what you did is also really good. And for me, I've been having a fun time, and I have found that making video games is a positive experience. And this is so critical to make this activity of making video games a positive flywheel in your brain, so that you don't look at this as something that you want to resist, or something that you're confused by, or something that you're overwhelmed by, but that's something that you can tackle piece by piece, and that it can build up joy and excitement and become a source of something that you look forward to and you want to come back to. So it is a whole lot of hacking your brain into getting into that flow where you're really having fun and enjoying what you're doing. So in spite of what life is throwing at you, you still have this to come back to. Even if it's small steps, you'll find that you're making progress bit by bit. Hey! I hope that you will check out my game, even though it's not on my screen here. It's called Tiny, The Last Wayfinder. It is a adventure game through a lush forest. You explore, and it's just moments of joy everywhere. It's not scary, it's not intimidating, it's not complicated. It's just moments of joy throughout the whole place as you interact and help bring restoration to everything around you. And I think it's such a healing message. I hope that that's something that appeals to you. You can wishlist it on Steam. You can play the demo to get a taste of what it's like in this world that I've been making. Using Godot engine, using Blender. We've been having a great time. I hope that you'll check that out. Please subscribe. And I hope most of all, what I always end up my videos with, I think it applies here, is that I hope that you will be awesome today. Talk to you soon.